We will not tolerate organized retail theft, which has become rampant in Seattle, causing businesses to close and leave our city. It's as simple as that. We will not tolerate that.
Seattle's mayor condemning the city's crime crisis, but for many business owners, it's a little and too late. From mom and pop stores forced to close shop to a downtown Target being shoplifted every 10 minutes, business owners have had enough. Our next guest has seen it all in Seattle. Radio host Jason Rantz joins us now. Jason, welcome. Has the situation just gotten so out of control that, I mean, these businesses are leaving, but what about the citizens?
Yeah, I mean, so from both perspectives, everyone is losing. You've got about 500 businesses that have permanently closed in the last couple of years, and the driving factor is the crime rate. Obviously, COVID made things worse, but in the case of the mom and pop store, Sneaker City, which I covered last week on my show, I mean, they just couldn't take it anymore. They were having break-ins happen all the time. Their products were being stolen. You've got folks not really understanding that when that happens, when insurance covers the cost of the shoes that are stolen, well, they're not covering the profit, and it's not cheap to do business in Seattle. And then you've got the supply chain crisis at the same time, meaning they can't get the product back in time to put on their shelves. So they decided to just call it quits and now move online. And they're one of the growing, they're one more on this growing list of businesses that are just, they're just done. And then, of course, as the citizens, you know, it's just not safe walking around. It's not safe going to Pike Place Market or having friends in town. It's getting to be completely untenable. And I think the city, the new mayor, is pointing that out.
Yeah, I mean, I know people, I have family who live in Seattle. I'm here in New York City right now. I always wonder, what is the threshold? At what point do people say, and I see these businesses are moving, but the people who live there seem like they are normalized to it. I could never live under these conditions, but they can. I mean, we listen to these stories, Jason, you bring them all the time, and we feel bad, but these people vote these people in that, you know, the people of Seattle vote people in that don't take care of these problems.
Oh, believe me, I feel it. I live in Seattle. I live right in the center of Seattle. I'm feeling this every single day. I will say the last election, there was a little bit of a course correction. So for the first time in some 30 plus years, the voters actually put into place a Republican to citywide office. That doesn't happen very often.
Yes,
and this
true.
was for the Seattle City Attorney's Office. And she was running against, Ann Davison was running against a candidate who was an abolitionist. She was flatly saying, look, I am not going to prosecute most misdemeanor crimes. And obviously, that was just a little bit too far. I mean, anyone who wants to know what the situation is like, you can go into any business. You've got now security guards at the front of almost every single retail business. The Downtown Seattle Association, it's a trade group, they're out there spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a year now on private security just to walk the streets because our Seattle Police Department staff is so depleted. And yet still, you go into, say, a Target, which I went into yesterday. Within just a couple of minutes, there was a shoplifting event. And then when you talk to the actual staff there, they'll tell you, yeah, it happens about every 10 minutes. And so I kind of just camped out for a bit, and I kept seeing shoplifting event after shoplifting event. It is so surreal.
It's terrible, and it is one of America's most beautiful cities. I loved visiting there, but I don't see any tourists clamoring to go right now until they clean things up. Jason, it's always great to hear from you. Thanks for giving us these dispatches from Seattle. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rachel.
All right. Still